Hi, this is Dave Johnson with Day Trade the Markets, and I've just been filled on a long trade here, as you can see, at 2078.50. And I just want to put a line on here. You can see that the early high produced this area right in here, which is what we would call a trade location zone, which on the offsetting portion of that is this green part down here. Well, the market did come down, as you can see, and it did move through this quite swiftly, and then rally up and so forth. So the overnight high was right in here around 77.50. Let me just mark that in, because the overnight session is often a good barrier, or at least a target for the day session. So this is the overnight high right here. So you can see that in the early going of today's regular trading hours, you can see that the market hit up to that overnight session a couple of times here, and then backed off, and then traded within this trade location zone. You can see the red zone here, the green zone of support here. It came down here within just a tick of our support, then had one of what we call a high velocity move as it approached this barrier, and then did move above it, kind of paused, and then moved higher. So what I did in getting into this trade was I actually waited until it actually moved above the early high of the day and the overnight high when it was trading in here. And the order that I put in was just a limit order, one tick above here. So you can see that, as a matter of fact, if I just go ahead and draw on a line from the early high right there, you can see that this order was placed just one tick above that, and then we were just filled a minute ago. So that's really the idea behind this trade so far today. Now we do have an area of likely resistance up there at 81.50, not too far from where we're trading right now. So just let me scroll this down a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put that in at 81.50. That's our next target, and that's right here. So that's an area that had formed yesterday that we felt would likely be a fairly good area of support. So I think what I will go ahead and do is I'm going to try and exit at 81. We're long from 88.50. So now we did come up here a moment ago and hit 80.75. I'm going to go ahead. I think it's likely to test that again. So I'm just going to sell half that position at 81. And then I'm also going to put in my stop. You can see we've had this pair of green buying. That's a level 2 buying. That's the second highest, strongest, or second strongest buying aggression that we have. The blue bar is the strongest. We don't have one of those today. The strongest selling is magenta. We do not have one of those today. We had that was just at the close yesterday. But the second strongest selling is this red bar here, a red bar here, and a red bar here. So you can see that the first red bar that we had no follow through lower, and it took out its high. This red bar did have follow through lower, but when it was testing the low of the day, it never had follow through there other than just a probe lower, and then it moved above the high of this red bar. And this bar was actually an inside bar, just kind of tucked inside. So and we've got some fairly good selling in here. And of course, what we did have over the past couple days was a good move lower, and we also had a test down that reached below one of the sort of major supports that we were looking at. And that was down yesterday when it dipped below 64.50, and the market had hit 61.25, and even overnight tonight, overnight last night going into today's regular trading hours, it hit down to 57. So okay, so our market has come up here. Now I'm expecting some good support in this area here at the low of this level 2 bar, which is also in this trade location zone here. What I'm going to do now is I need to place obviously my protective stop, and I really don't want it to move much below here, this area in here. I think this is going to be a good support area. It might even get back down to the top of this high velocity move that you can see right here, this dark shaded area right here. It could get down to the to the high of that, and that's around 75.75. So we're long from 78.50. So about halfway between 78 and 75. What is that? Well, 76 to 7, about 77 or so, right about in this area here. I would expect to see some fairly good support. If this market here probes up and moves much below this level right here, and I'll just go ahead and mark that in. Take this line over here, just copy that and put that in. So I'm expecting some support either right there or right about here. So I don't really want to put my stop in. I'm going to have to put a fairly large stop in here. 75.50 is where I'm going to put the stop. So I'm going to put the sell stop there. It's a little bit more than what I like, but I think that's okay today. And I'm expecting this market to, find some support, as I said, somewhere in here. So if we do get some rejection down on these lower prices, I'm going to go ahead and double up my position size here. So we'll just kind of wait and see how this pans out. But I think we're okay for now. We have our stop in place, and if we do get a rejection of any kind of price activity that tests either this blue line, I've just put this blue line in manually, but it's part of this green area here, or the top of this high velocity move, and I've manually put this blue line in. If it can come down here and get rejected, I'm going to go ahead and add to my long position. But in the meantime, we'll just leave it the way it is, and I'll pause this recording right now and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, I've just restarted the recording here. You can see that the market dipped down here, didn't quite hit our blue line of support, and then it's turned back higher again. So we're just a couple of ticks. We just hit 80. What did we hit here? We hit 80.50, and I have a sell limit at 81. So it has moved a couple points in our favor. So I think what I really need to do here is just to be on the sort of the prudent side of money management, is to move this stop up. I'm going to move it up just a tick below where we entered, and so I'm only risking one tick on this trade at this point. So it may or may not move above this high. So it's obviously it's come up nicely and tested it. But I think what I will do is we're long from 78.50. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to bring this down to 80.50. We just hit it a moment ago, and that'll give us a couple of points on this trade. So I've adjusted both the first exit target and the stop. So we'll see here. Okay, it just hit our price. So we'll see if we can get filled on this, and when we do, hopefully we'll have another run higher. The next target, by the way, that we're looking at is up here at 84. So this is the next target up here. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and put it in order to sell one up here at 83.50. So if the market's strong enough and get us filled here at 80.50 and continue on higher, then that would be our next target on that one. So I will go ahead and pause the recording and fire it back up as the market dictates. Okay, we'll wait a second here. Okay, we just got filled on that. So I need to obviously adjust this down to 2, because we've only got 2 contracts left, and the market has now moved from our entry at 78.50. It's now hit up to 81. So I'm just going to leave this stop. I'm going to leave it at 1 tick below, and the reason I'm doing that, not because I want to lose 1 tick should it turn around, but you can see we had a selling decel bar. That's this little triangle and dot that occurred on this selling bar right here when it dipped down and touched onto our price and then turned higher. So I do not want the market to move below that. So that's the last dip that we had where some good buying came in. So I've got my stop there at 78.25 for now. We've made a couple of points on half of the position. So we're just risking 1 tick on this second half of our position. We've got 2 contracts. So the total risk is 2 ticks. And what have we made so far? We had 2 contracts at 2 points. So that's 8 and 8 is 16. So we made 16 ticks so far. We're risking 2. So the worst case scenario would be a net result of 14 ticks. So we'll just let this play out here for a little bit, and I'll pause the recording now and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just start up the recording again. It has had a good rally here. Okay, just filled us on that nicely. So we're now out of just the one contract left. So what I want to do is obviously change this down to 1 here. And you can see that the move up here has attracted some pretty aggressive buying. We've got the green bar is the level 2, the blue is the level 3, and another green bar here, which is obviously level 2. So level 1 is our weakest buying. We don't actually have, well, we've got a green one right here, the light green. Yeah, the light green here. These are the level 1 buying bars. So the level 2s and the level 3s is what we generally focus more on. You know, that's where we're looking to have you know, some really good movement in the market, some really good aggression, whether it's exhaustion or continuation. So we're taking a look at these here. We want to take a look at the darker colors, in other words, the red here, which is level 2 selling, the green, level 2 buying, and the blue, level 3 buying. We do not have a level 3 selling today, which is a magenta bar. So because of this movement here, and we've got 3 in a row here of aggression, level 2, level 3, level 2, I'm going to go ahead and adjust my sell stop to just below, 1 tick below this series of them right here. So this is now at 20.80.50, so we lock in a couple of points on the final contract here, and we're just going to keep adjusting it. You know, should the market continue to move higher, obviously we don't know where it's going to go, but when you take a look at, for example, yesterday's action, after it has, you know, it's likely to, you know, stutter here a little bit, I would imagine here at 84. And then really the next level up is quite a ways, really. I mean, it could be, well, it could be as high as 91. So I'm just going to let this market continue to run for the time being. We've got our stop in. Oh, you can see here now the market has actually shown us another high velocity move. High velocity move here. These high velocity moves, we really find them to be very interesting. And we had a couple of them really early in the session. If they're early in the session, you got to kind of watch it, because generally speaking, early in the session means indecision. Obviously, depending on other factors, of course, but if we can get some follow through or exhaustion on the part of the market forming any of these, then, you know, it's really going to give us a heads up. Like, for example, early in the day today, we had a nice buying high velocity move, very little follow through, came down, tested towards low, didn't make the low, just touched on the low of that level 2 buying, went up, did not make a new high, and then we had a really nice wave of selling here as the market went down, actually made a new low for the day. So then this area here became the good area of resistance, as I was mentioning earlier in the video, and then of course we rallied up here through it. So these high velocity moves do tend to be really good notifications of intraday auctions, either the beginning or the end. So I'm going to watch here if this selling has or if this buying has found enough selling, then the low of this area is going to get taken out. I got my stop just below it. So we'll leave it as it is for now, and we'll just pick up on this trade as the market dictates. So I'll put the recording on pause right now. Just wanted to start the recording back up again. You can see the market did come down to the support area here. Our stop is still at 80.50. It just hit down to 81. So, you know, we're just holding on to this. Just want to bring you up to date, and I'll once again pause the recording. Sorry. Just restarted the video here and the recording. As you can see, the market has continued to move higher, and I've moved the stop up to 83.25. as I was mentioning earlier, that 84 was a likely barrier. We got out of 1/4 of our position just below 84, and you can see it hit what was that, 84.50, and then backed off and came back down towards our support. As you can see, it just came within a tick or two of our stop down here, and then turned higher once again. Now we are back up, or now we have rallied above the 84 level. Good level one buying right here as it broke higher, and we just continue to be moving up. So now the stop here is perhaps a little too lenient. On the final position, I like to, or the final partial position, I like to keep it fairly tight, because we know that as the market rallies up, it's looking for sellers, and it eventually will reach a point where the sellers will take over. And yesterday's high was up there at 93.75, and I'm looking right now as a sort of a next target, roughly in the 91 area to 92 area. So that's kind of the next target. So what I'll do is I'll just move this down a little bit, and I'll copy this again, and we'll put that up here roughly around 91 or so. And so what I'll do here is I think I need to tighten this stop up a little bit. We've just had another level 2 bar, and you can see right before that we had a selling decel. So I'm going to tighten that right up all the way to here, just one tick below that selling deceleration bar. There's this little bar right here, selling bar, and you can see it has the triangle and a dot below it. So it was a deceleration bar to the downside, and whenever anything like that happens, we expect the market to then turn higher. And if it's still strong, it should hold and not take out that low. So it's a fairly tight stop here at 86.50. We're still holding from 78.50, so you know it's going to lock in 8 points at least on this final partial here. So I'm just going to leave it there for the time being. And what I will do as well, I'm going to go ahead, because this next target up here is roughly at 91. I'm going to go ahead, just in case it spikes up, I'm going to go ahead and put a sell limit in there at 91. 91, maybe just bring that down. I think I'll bring it down a couple of ticks to 90.50. Lock from 78. That would give us a nice 12-point profit on that. So I'm going to, I think that would be a good move for the day, because when you consider that, I think our average daily range right now, let me check on that. Yeah, it's around 19 points. So if we can go from the low today is around 69 and change, 70. So you add 18 onto that, you get 88. So we've actually done our average already. So of course yesterday we had even a larger range than our average, but and so we've hit our 10-day average range already today. But should we spike up, and I think it could certainly do that, we've had a good move here off of the rejection of the low, off of that 64 area is really good support when it dipped below it yesterday, and even dipped below that in the overnight session going into today. So good rejection off of that. So if we can get up, I think if we can manage another 5 or so points on this, it's probably pretty good. And so I'll just leave that sell limit in there at 90.50. But I do have a fairly tight stop here at 86.50. So I'll go ahead once again and pause this recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording again. You can see it's come down and touched onto that. Okay, we just got filled on that. So we're out of that trade at 86.50, so I'm going to cancel this. So we've had a good run here. Let's just do a quick recap. Okay, so I just put together a little recap here. We had traded 4 contracts, so we exited 2 at 2 points for a total of 4 points. We exited 1 trade for 5 points, and the last trade was for 8 points. You add those up, you get 17 points. And it's $50 a point, so $850 on that trade. If you have any questions or comments, please get a hold of us at info@daytradingthemarkets.com. So that'll be it for today, Thursday, May the 7th, 2015. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.